Hey guys, what up? Ryu here, and we're returning today, guys, on Among Trees. Where we left off, we previously just finished building the cabin. Now, the next step is to build each of the three new units inside. One is a cooking unit, two is a storage unit, and three happens to be the crafting unit. Now, without further ado, let's hop in and let's begin. So here we are again, guys. We have just finished building our cabin. Let's go ahead, open our door, and head inside. Now, when we get inside, guys, we have right here our storage box, which we can open, and we have our backpack to the side, following our storage boxes right here. We can hold up to 4, 8, 12, 16 items, plus an additional 12 items on the left. Right here, guys, we have our bed, which we can use to sleep at night. So when we get tired, we can sleep and recover our strength. We have our storage, our crafting room, our saving book, which we can now use and hit save. That way it'll save our game progress. And then now we have our cooking room. Each one of these rooms, guys, will need certain ingredients such as fir planks, steel wire, nails, fir planks, steel wire, stump moss, and fir planks, bolts, and driftwood. Each one of these need to be created to get into the next room. So the question you guys should be asking yourself is, which room should I build first? Each one of these rooms, guys, has a very good unique ability. Storage, on the other hand, allows you to have more storage boxes upstairs, and also opens up one more additional room that will lead you to a sewing room at a later time. The crafting room, guys, is very useful because it provides you with crafting tools and pretty much everything you're going to need to have in this game. So the crafting room is pretty much my first priority. Over the cooking room, guys, cooking room does have 2 units more inside, which I'll get later into this game talking about. But at this time, I would definitely recommend leaving cooking room to last, because cooking room, as though it is needed in this game, it is not super useful. Most of the items that is in this room is late game to end game stuff, which isn't really anything special at this time. Now, don't get me wrong, when I say it's not special, it doesn't mean that it's not awesome detail stuff. It's not awesome stuff in general. It is just stuff that is not needed at the early gameplay. So the first 2 things we're going to work on is the crafting room, and then the storage addict, and then we will get the cooking room unlocked. So first things first, we're going to go ahead and hit Q to note the items on our right, and now we're going to open up, and now we're going to leave. When we walk outside, guys, you will notice right away that we have no world map. That's because when you first start the game, you will not have a world map. You will have to create a world map. So, first things first, when we walk outside, we have all the surrounding areas. The first thing you guys need to do is you need to walk outside, and you need to go directly behind your house. As you make your way behind your house, you'll want to make your way over this hill. Always pay attention, guys. You can always find your house by looking for this diamond shape, which it'll have a home right in the middle. That is how you can find your way back to your house at all times. If we did not have that feature in this game, players would be forever lost in this game. So as we go down, guys, you will notice that you will come across a room full of different items. I say room, a plane. You will come across an area with some items all over here. This is the first spot that you want to come to. But before we do that, let's continue with the little tutorial. It says press tab to open your backpack. We have no items. It says right now stack limit is 10 items. We have our outfits and backpack space. This tells you what our outfit is, Norette and Lumber outfit. And then this right here is our progress bar. This is the floral, this is the construction, and this is your exploration. This is how many zones you've explored, if any. This is your floral, which means all the different plants, bushes, or anything in the game that we need to find. And construction is basically just all the rooms in the house that you created. So with that, let's go ahead and do what the game is suggesting that we do, and that is gather fir planks. While doing this, we will search for items that is also on our list. I really recommend that when you are playing, guys, that you take the time to only pick up the stuff that you are needing to pick up that is noted. Do not waste your time picking up all this additional stuff, because the stuff will never disappear. Once you leave, if you leave it where it's located and come back at a later date for it, it'll always be there, and therefore it'll always be better off if you wait. If you pick up stuff now and try to get everything picked up right away, which is not a bad idea if you have enough storage space back home, but the problem is that sometimes you'll fill up your storage so quickly with all these items, you won't even have all the rooms unlocked yet, therefore you can't hold so much. Then you're forced to drop things over time, and it's really just a sad thing to drop a lot of this stuff early when you should be holding on to it. So first things first, we're gonna keep looking around for more fir planks. Our last steel wire. And now, after we have that, all we really need to do is just basically look around for all different final searches. I think we've already searched everything here. The other thing you guys need to note is you guys cannot break this without a hatchet. So without a hatchet, you cannot break these open. Another thing is these. You'll need a lockpick to open up these crates. Now, I think this is everything from this spot location. So we're going to go ahead and move on to our next location. When you guys finish from this location, take note right here that there's this tower that's located right here. This tower symbolizes where basically each and every one of these spots are located. Not all of them are going to have one, but pretty much every tower is an indication that there is a loot spot. Now, once you finish this location off, you guys want to basically make your way to the east, facing this direction, and start heading up and over this hill. Take also note, in the top right hand corner of the screen, guys, you will have a button that says press F2 for submit feedback. You'll also see a sun picture going down or up. That up or down means the sun has going down for the night and it's going to get dark soon. So we need to pay attention to our time. As we make our way over here to this next location, everyone, we're going to notice another one of these spots. As we get over here, it's going to have some more of these items that we need to pick up. First things first, let's pick up the rest of the fir planks so that we have our achievement. There we go, guys. Now we have all of our fir planks. Now we still need to pick up some stump moss, which we'll need to go and pick up. I'll show you guys in a moment how we actually find that stuff, but let's first head over here to the creek and drink some water. If you guys notice in the bottom right hand corner, you'll see an option that has like a little bit of a tier on it, which is just basically considered your thirst. Go ahead, drink water, and you'll replenish your bar completely. Once that is done, we're going to run back up here, and we're also going to pick up this little blueprint thingy that's highlighted right here. Now take note that blueprints can be found around the game, guys, and these blueprints are going to be looking just like this. They can be found in different one of these loot camps that are located and scattered all over the game map. So not every spot's going to have them, but if you do find them, I will show you that all the locations as to where they're at least located. This is the very first location that you can find one, where we're currently at. I would show you on the map, but unfortunately, we don't have a map yet. As we open it up, guys, we now have the lockpick blueprint found. So let's head back to our house and get ready to craft the crafting room, my bad. So as we head back to the house, guys, we do need to look for one more item. It is going to get dark here pretty soon, and so what we need to find next is some stump moss. Okay, guys, so stump moss looks something like this. When you get to, when you're looking around for stump moss, everyone, you're going to find it on things just like this. When you get over here, you'll find some stump moss laying on a broken down tree, as in you don't see the tree itself, but you will see a broken off tree. You want to go to the stump, and again, stump moss. So whenever you find a stump sitting around in the woods somewhere, whenever you find a stump laying around, there is a good chance that it will have some stump moss on it. So go over there and pick it up. So we picked up our first. Now we need one more thing of stump moss. And our second one, guys, is right here. So now we have our second Stump Moss. So there's one here and one over there. Now let's make our way back to the house before it starts to get dark. Alright, we're going to go ahead and build our first room. Crafting room, features unlocked. Crafting, craft tools, resources, and objects. Now we're going to go ahead and save our progress, and we're going to go ahead and fall asleep. But it says that we're too hungry. So the next thing that we have to do, guys, is we need to go outside really quickly and just find some food. The first way to find food, guys, is by running around and looking for plants. Find plants, and then we'll go from there. So there we go. We have a golden, and then we have some more button mushroom. Let's go ahead and open our backpack up and go to where these items are. As we can see right here, guys, that if we go to a button mushroom, it says raw or cooked. Right now, we just need to eat something just to get our HP back up. With that being done, we need to run back inside and now go to sleep. Okay, guys, so now that we have our crafting room unlocked, when we go inside, we're going to go to where it says craft items. Go ahead and click on craft items. Now from here, guys, we need to go to tools. From tools, we have the option to open up a map, compass, water canteen, lockpick, fishing rod, and woodsman axe. With that already being here, the first thing that we kind of want to work on is getting this map created. The map is very, very important, guys, because it'll let us see everything in the map. Meaning, it'll let you see where you're at in the map. Now, it won't show us everything in the game. It will just show you where you're currently at and all the spots that you have already unlocked. So the first thing that we're needing to do is pretty much the most important one, which is a woodman's axe. Fishing rod is very useful, guys, because it allows you to fish food and stay alive a lot longer. Lockpick is smart because it unlocks all the crates that have a lot of interesting things. The water canteen, guys, is very useful for when you're making very long trips in the game and you need water, and when you run out of thirst, well, dehydration kicks in and then you start to die. So the very important thing is to have water with you at all times. So the first thing we need to do is create each and every one of these items. So the first thing we're going to do is start with our woodsman axe. We're going to go ahead and make a note of it, and now we're going to begin. Now the first thing is, guys, I'm going to always head back to the locations where all these little loot bases are. When I say loot base, it's just one of the loot camps that have all the different items in it. These items, like I said, guys, will always be here until you pick them up. Once you pick everything up, these spots will basically become bare, and there will be nothing left in this location again. So the first thing we need to find are bolts and jute rope. Jute rope looks like this, guys. It'll look just like a piece of rope tied with knots. So we're going to go ahead and grab that. We're going to search. Another little thing that you guys can do is pick up the steel pipes. Steel pipes are very useful, guys. If you do not find bolts laying around, you can always pick up the steel pipes. They will also work as bolts. Now, once you're done searching all this location, if there's nothing more that we can find from this location, guys, we need to move on to the next location. Now, as we get back to the second location that I originally picked up the blueprint from, guys, we need to pick up the rest of the stuff that we didn't grab from last time. We got our first thing of bolts. Let's see if we can find 2 more sets of bolts here before we move on. We do not, but we do find one more steel wire. Or steel pipe, my bad. As we do that, guys, we're going to head right on back to our house to create the woodman's axe. For some of you wondering, how long can we run before we actually stop? That little meter that's below, right in the middle of the screen, that kind of looks like a nose with my cursor in the middle, and then like a little mouth that's going like this. When that bar starts to go down, guys, I only have so much run. Once that finally reaches the red zone, that basically means I'm out of run. So now we're going to go over here to craft items. Take note, I don't even have 2 bolts. So how do I create 2 bolts? We're going to go over to here to bolts for resources, and we're going to tear down 1 steel pipe. With that, we can go over here to tools, and now we can create our woodsman axe. Now that we have that created, we also need to pick up right here 2 nails, 1 bolt. We still need 2 pipes. So we are going to go ahead and we're just going to create, double check, 1 thing of bolts. Now we have 2 of these. Now we need just 2 nails. We don't have any steel wire, so unfortunately, because I did not pick up anymore, we're now going to have to eventually now run back. Okay guys, so now that we have all the ingredients that we need to create the lockpick, once you have all the ingredients, you'll go ahead and you'll craft the lockpick. Now that we have the lockpick created along with our woodman axe, now we're ready to go and pick lock all the items that we could not get originally in those crates. Before we head over there, we also need to create 1 fishing rod. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to make a quick note of that. And we'll also get our fishing rod created. Now, some of you might be asking, why are we getting all these tools created right away? Why don't we just go ahead and build more rooms? Because we're going to need all these items unlocked to make our gameplay easier. Now, there are a couple ways of doing this, guys. You can run around and chop down these tall trees. They will drop you fir planks along with sticks, or you can run around like we were doing and looking for sticks that are just standing upright, like these spots right here. Or you can run up to these tiny small trees that are just like this, take out your axe, swing at the tree, and you'll see that they break. You can also pick up sticks just like that. So now that we have 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now that we have all 6 of those, we're going to run back into the house and we're going to create our fishing rod. Now, fishing rod. Find a lake and equip your fishing rod to start fishing. Look for ripples on the water to find good fishing spots. Okay guys, so now that we have all 3 of these created, the fishing rod, the lockpick, and the woodsman axe, the very next part that we need to complete is the map. So we're going to go ahead and look for 2 black currant and also old rags. So we're going to go ahead and note that, and we're going to start looking for those items. We also have a full almost inventory we don't need, so we need to go ahead and deposit all the items into there that we do not need. Let's go ahead and check really quickly. Now that we have all 3 of those, we're going to hold on to this and 1 old rag. Now, we're going to go back to our location once before where we found all the items, and we're going to finish collecting all the items from this location. Why? Because we need to get everything out of that spot now so we don't have to keep running back and forth, back and forth, back and forth every time we need something. We need to have it in our storage at this point. Now, to find black Currant, guys, this is going to be a little bit of a tricky situation. We have to basically start looking around on all the ground areas to find it. It is going to look kind of like this. In fact, I'm not entirely sure what it's going to look like. Unfortunately, until we discover it, we don't necessarily know what it looks like. There we go, guys. By opening up one of the crates, we just discovered large trees map hidden found. So what does that actually mean, large hidden trees? Well, that just opened up a brand new location around the game. So I will talk about that more when we get to it. Okay, so this is our very first run-in with the black Currant. So it's gonna look like this. Basically 2 stems shooting out from right to left or up and to the side. We need to go ahead, pick that up. It's basically Newberry discovered. Okay, so need to go back and find out what plant that was. Okay, so it's gonna basically look just like this, guys. So we need to look for a plant that has this type of stem-like look. While doing so, we also need to eat something. Now these plants, guys, the ones that I am leaving behind or picking up, you can pick them up and disregard them if you so choose. A lot of these plants are useful and some of them are just meant for eating. Now, for a lot of you, you'll probably be wondering if I'm running in circles or, you know, why am I running so very close to the home every time? And it's really just because I don't want to be too far away from the house, because it does take a while to run there, and when things do get dark, it takes a lot longer to get back to where the location is. And therefore, most of the items that you're going to be finding in the game are very located pretty much within, not too far from your house. So a lot of the things that you'll be looking for early game are going to be very close to where your home is already. So it's a lot better to stay as close as you can. Not so close, but pretty much to where these areas I keep running to are located. Now, there is probably a question for a lot of people on their minds, and they're probably all wondering the same thing. Are all the items that are generated in the game always the same for every time you play? That question is very good, because not even I know that answer. Even though I make guides, and even though I show players where to find everything, I have always sometimes found that when I run back to those same locations, the spots that I have shown players where they're at, they're not always in the same location. Which means that the map is generating new areas every single time you play the game. With that being said, some of the areas are always going to be in the same spot, where other items such as plants are always going to be in a different location. So when running around the game, you will be needing to look for where these unique areas are. I would highly recommend paying attention to some of my video guides so that you have an idea, clear location-wise, where everything is located. There will be some areas that will always be the same, where there'll be other areas that will be completely different. For the spots that are completely different, I will continue to keep updating as much as I can so that you guys will know where to find everything possible. However, for the areas that are common, they will always be there. Okay guys, so we found our very last piece of our black Currant. So now we have 5 old rags and 2 of these. They were very hard to find. We had to run around the game for probably a good, what felt like maybe 5 minutes, 5 or 10 minutes searching all over for it. So now that we have it, let's go ahead and head back. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and open up the storage. And we're going to do one last thing. We're just going to go ahead and we're going to dump everything in here really quick. And we're also going to go create our map. Once you guys have your items, go ahead and create your map. Now that we have our map accessible, we can now hit M to view the map. We'll go ahead and enter our map now. Okay, so earlier on, guys, we picked up a blueprint that was called Larch Trees. That location is located right here on the map. Now, granted, we can't see anything because it's all hidden. Now, how do you actually find everything in the map? Well, when we zoom in, you'll notice that our big little circle is right here. Well, even though we're a speck on the map, this little bubble, this little circle right here, every time we run to a new area, it's kind of like a paintbrush on the app program Paint. Whenever you take a small paintbrush and you spray, it tries to fill in all the little dots. Well, that's exactly how this map works. When you take your circle, your character, and you run to a brand new location, it's actually taking the circle and it's basically trying to fill in all the loose, missing little pixels on the map. And as we start to get closer to new areas, you'll start to see these little areas get curved and broken up. That's why you see all these weird cut ends at the edges. That's because every time I get closer and closer to the border that I have not discovered yet, it's trying to fill that in. And it's like a paintbrush, as if you're spraying it, it's trying to fill the bubble in until it gets to a certain range or radius. So that's exactly what this bubble is doing. It is trying to fill in these gaps. So all this in here has now been filled in, and now we know where it's located. But we need to also pay attention to north, where our house is, and where all these spots are located. So next, what we're going to do is, now that we have the map created, we could create the compass or the water canteen. But the next thing that we want to focus on, guys, is the storage addict. So the next thing we're going to do is open this up. It's going to ask for steel wire, 4 nails. And what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to pop back up here. And we're going to see it says 2 steel, 4 nails. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And boop, boop, whoop. Do this, do that, do this, and do boop, boop. Okay, so now with that being said, now all we need to do is get fir planks. Now fir planks, guys, will take some time. The first thing we need to do is take out our axe and start chopping. Uh-oh. Our house. Oh, thank God. Okay. So our house did not get break. Just FYI, guys, your house will never get destroyed in the progress here. Alright guys, so there we go. Now that we have all 28 of our planks, the next objective here... Oh wow, there was another plank right there that I didn't even notice. Okay, we'll just leave it right there for now. Now once you guys have all your guys' trees, what we'll want to do is come over here and go ahead and open up our storage. Now, storage addict, features unlocked, storage. You now got 4 extra storage boxes, new extensions, sewing room. So now that we have this unlocked, guys, we'll be able to climb up our stairs and get up to here where our next 4 boxes are located. All of these boxes, again, have 4, 8, 12, 16 items. So 16, 32, 60, 32, 64. So we can now have up to 64 plus 64, 68, 72, 76, 80. So we have like 80 items, guys, that we can have. That is how many items that we can storage, including our additional 12 items for a grand total of 92 items in all. So now that we have this room opened up, the very next and the very last room that we need to open up is the cooking room, which we'll go ahead and hit note. And now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and fall asleep again. All right. So for this objective, guys, we need to get fir planks, bolts, and driftwood. So the very next thing that we're going to do is we're going to get now that we have 4 bolts, we need to get 12 fir planks and 3 driftwood. Now, once you guys have all your planks for this item, and now we need to find driftwood. Now, driftwood, guys, is pretty obvious. Driftwood is going to be found locations-wise around the creek. So we need to follow the riverbed where it leads up into the pond. So we need to make our way back to our house, and we need to start heading in that direction. Now, once you reach this location, guys, and you can see the dam where the pond starts, you'll want to start walking along the shore where it says Reed Lake. Now we're going to go pick up our very first thing of driftwood. Our next objective here is to go ahead and drink some water, replenish our energy. And we need to follow the shoreline in search of the missing driftwood. Another way to discover plants and things around the game, guys, is look for the shiny glow that they put in the game. If this shiny glow that's going off of this plant right here, or off of this piece of wood, was not glowing, it would actually make the game a little bit harder than it would need to be. And here we have it, guys. This is the final part of this video guide. We now finally have all that we need to open up the cooking room. Cooking room. Features unlocked. Cooking. Mixed ingredients and prepare meals for the road. New extensions. Greenhouse and brewing room. Now with this finally done, guys, we finally have all the unlocks of the house. As we come outside, we can finally see that we have the extension to the right, the extension to the left, and also the roof for the attic. With that being said and done, guys, we have now access to the cooking food. We still need to create a brewing room, and we need to complete a greenhouse. There is one more room up in the attic that we still yet have done, and that also is the sewing room. This is going to go ahead and end this tutorial guide on how to open up the following units: cooking room, storage attic, and the crafting room. I hope you all enjoyed, and I hope you all have learned something with everything that we have gone over here today. Until our next video, have a wonderful, fantastic rest of your day, and I'll see you all in the next one. Until then, peace out and game on, guys.